She just seems really cool and I love her a lot. I never win things. This never happens. God, I just want to sit down and read this like crazy. Hello friends, my name is Bonnie and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be kicking off something I'm very excited about. In this reading vlog, I will be doing a reread of Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse and reading the arc of Fevered Star by Rebecca Roanhorse, which is book 2, following up after Black Sun, and I'm super excited. Fevered Star I actually won in a Goodreads giveaway, and like I was so shocked when I got the email being like, you won! It's like, I never win things. This never happens. I feel like this is a pretty like anticipated book, so I was just super excited. And then Goodreads giveaways, they usually estimate like 8 to 10 weeks of it getting shipped to you, so I was like, I have no clue when I'm gonna get this book. But just a couple days passed and here it is. Get in close here so you can see. So it has on here the advanced reader copy with its expected publication date of April 19th. And it is currently March 29th. So I actually have time to read this before release date, which is so stinking exciting. So Black Sun, I listened to the audiobook a few years ago now. Was it last year? COVID times really get my mind all jumbled about what I did, what, where, and when. But I super enjoyed the audiobook. I was so engaged in this fantasy world. The writing was compelling, the characters were intriguing, and it was just great. And ever since then I knew I wanted to get my own copy to read it physically. When I found out I won the Fevered Star giveaway, I was like, I need this ASAP so I can do a reread. And then now I already have Fevered Star, so I guess I'll read them back to back, let you know my thoughts, and I'm just really stinking excited and just Good morning, friends. So it is quite a few days later. I've been quite bad at updating you guys, just with busyness with my birthday and my work going back to office. But I am happy to report I have made progress on Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. I am now on page 246 and it is currently the morning of April 8th. So happy Friday. I'm getting ready right now to head on out, but definitely wanted to pop in for an update, and I'm having a really great time with my reread. I do think the story is slightly more like easy to grasp listening to the audiobook, or maybe that's just me. Maybe I learn more audibly than I realized, just because there's a lot of words and terms in this complex world that I feel like I kind of gloss over it a little easier via audiobook, I think, than I would if I was a first-time reader of it physically. But it's just really great. Rebecca Roanhorse's writing is so captivating. I just want to keep reading. Like I feel like the plot isn't very fast, but the character work, the political work, and just the writing really just makes me want to keep going. I think I can kind of share a little bit of what's going on with our primary characters so you can get a little better taste of what is going on in this book. So our primary main character is Serapio, who we get to see his childhood of in flashbacks and then present time as well. And he is part of a clan that worships the crow god. There is like magic regarding crows. There's a lot of ritual based in their religion as well. Especially in the first chapter, we see him getting his hahan, which is like specific like scarring of the skin regarding their religious beliefs, and they dye their teeth red, and they typically wear all black. Serapio is blinded as a child as part of a ritual regarding the future of the crow god. So heavy-hitting stuff happens to him in the first chapter during his childhood, but we do get to see the current day him, which I believe he's like in his 20s or so when we see him. He has like an eeriness to him, but he also has some pretty cool magic going on regarding the crows. Somehow with his magic, he can connect with the crows around him and kind of see through their eyes in a way, but it also seems kind of like shadowy magic as well. It's very interesting. We have his storyline, and everything is counting down to a convergence, which I think is an eclipse, if I'm remembering correctly. I really can't say. It's been too long. Then we have Jyla, who is the captain of a ship, but she is also a teak, which is essentially like a combination of like a mermaid and a siren. Like she has the ability to sing with a capital S, and she can kind of control people in that way as like sirens would with like drawing men to them, but she can kind of do that. It seems like she kind of has like some control of the water, or maybe it's just her religion as well, with like loving the water so much. She just seems really cool, and I love her a lot. And her and her crew actually get tasked to take Serapio from one city to another regarding the convergence happening. So they are connected, their plot lines are intertwined, they have really good vibes going on, so love that. And then our third primary character is Narampa, who is the sun priestess of another religion about like astrology, sun sort of things, and she is the sun priest 4. She is very progressive in her religion, but she is kind of looked down upon as well. She came from essentially nothing, and everyone was very surprised when she was chosen to be the heir to the sun priest. She is currently the sun priest and trying to like resolve things, improve things, but it's quite a struggle with the traditionalists of her group, and then there's also hostilities both towards and on the receiving end with the other religion group, which is the Carrion Crow, which is that same religion that Serapio is tied to as well. So in Narampa's perspective, we're getting like even more political elements of this world. There's assassination attempts, there's like talks of peace, but then other people get killed. It's craziness. So I feel like Narampa's storyline is used to flesh out politics, get the like underlying vibes of this world, while Jyla and Serapio's storyline is focused on their specific plot, and they are at sea, which is very cool. So I hope that kind of helps you get the vibe a little bit more of what's going on. I don't want to go too much further because of spoiler reasons, but there's a lot of like character back and forth of drives and needs, and just like wanting to move towards the future, but like the future isn't certain for some, and more set for others. It's really great, and I'm having a wonderful time. So hopefully, being that it's Friday, I will have more progress today, but it's also like I don't want to fly through this reread, you know, hence it being the 8th and I'm still reading this, but there's something about her writing that just sucks me in, and I just want to stay for a really long time, but I have to keep pursuing because once I finish this, I can read my arc. So like I need to keep going, but also I'm like having a good time taking it slow. So I'm both winning and not winning. It is now April 10th, and I am oh so happy to report that I have completed my reread of Black Sun, and I loved it so much. Literally that small chunk of book I had left, I read an insane amount yesterday and only had about like 65 pages left to finish this morning. And like, boy, was I sucked in. I was invested once again. Just the stakes just feel really high at the end. Like, you don't know who's gonna die, who's gonna live. You don't know. It's definitely parts I did not have like fresh in my mind, so I was definitely surprised about certain things. There was quite a few side characters that Narampa interacts with that like completely left my mind. I had no recollection of that, so it was exciting to have like another nearly new experience that does kind of like expand what else is going on in the world, coinciding with the other religious sects of the city. Boy, is this ending intense. Just the way we leave so many characters. They are at such a low point of like how will they go on from here, or what roles will they play next? Will this entirely change their outlook on life? Just some big stakes finally went down, and I don't think the city of Tova will ever be the same. I'm so happy with this reread. I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars this time around. When I listened to it on audiobook, I think I only gave it 4.5, but I was so engrossed in this. Oh boy, was this great, and I just can't believe this is a debut adult fantasy. Like, it is just so well done, and it's just great. I love the character dynamics, especially between Serapio and Jyla. They're both really interesting on their own and really endearing together. I think it's Jyla that discusses how both of them can be perceived as monsters, but they're also just humans. So I loved it, and I'm so excited that I can now continue on. So I can now continue on with Fevered Star, the arc. As I said, it is April 10th, so I have 9 days before this actually comes out to the rest of the US or the world. I'm not sure if there's any different release dates for this title elsewhere, but I'm hoping to definitely get this read before then, and fingers crossed get this video edited and uploaded as well for those of you that are really intrigued to know what's going on with this series next. And I won't say too much here for spoiler reasons, but it definitely sounds like this one will continue to explore prophecies, gods, politics, and the aftermath of the crazy shit that goes down in Black Sun. So I just can't wait to see where we go next with these amazing characters. And let's see the page count. The page count for this arc is 385 pages, which my finished copy paperback of Black Sun is 450 pages. So this one is significantly shorter, but we'll see how things go. I did see on Goodreads there is meant to be a 3rd book in this series as well. I don't know when that's hoping to be released, or if there's plans of further books in the series. I guess I will check in once I've made some progress on this one. Good morning, friends. So it is very early on April 11th, but I had some time before going into work. I definitely wanted to pop in to share some thoughts. I'm currently on page 24, which is already on to chapter 4 of Fevered Star, and I'm already loving it. This literally kicks right off where Black Sun left, so I feel like I'm just continuing the same story. I was never out of book ever, and seeing the aftermath of things, and it's really great. I'm loving this, even though it's literally just started. I'm already super intrigued to explore what these characters are going to do next. It is definitely focusing on like, oh, we've had access to such crazy godlike abilities, crazy shit has happened, deadly shit has happened, and how do we cope with that now? Like, how can we move forward knowing we've done that, but also like move forward with our humanity. Everyone's kind of like branched out again in like where they're located in the city, and politics wise, I have no clue where this is going next. God, I just want to sit down and read this like crazy. So a few things I have noticed about this arc, which I believe this is like pretty close to a finished copy, being that I got mine end of March and it's coming out mid-April. I have noticed in Black Sun we do get a people's glossary, just of like who's who, what's their title, what is their clan connection or religious connection, which honestly extremely helpful. If you ever get confused, definitely look back on that for a refresher. Fevered Star has that glossary as well, so it has the refresher of all the characters, but they have also crossed off everyone that died in Black Sun. I'm like, this is fascinating. I love this. 1, it's a great refresher. 2, I feel like it's more ominous. We have added more characters to this glossary that I have not met yet. And it's like, oh shit, are they gonna get crossed off too? Oh, what's gonna happen? And then the other thing I have to note, because a previous update I was talking about how this is fewer pages than Black Sun, but if I hold them up together, this one here is Black Sun, this one here is Fevered Star. You can kind of see Black Sun has some bigger line spacing going on than Fevered Star. It is also slightly smaller font, and a lot of the chapter breaks in Black Sun will have like a blank page next to its chapter page, while that has not been the case for the arc currently. It'll transition right into the next chapter. I'm not sure if that'll change the further I get into the arc, so I don't know, maybe they're conserving paper or they're just cramming in some more text. I'm totally here for it. I'm totally fine for it. Like, the text isn't that small. It's totally still easy to read, but I just thought I would mention that, being that I was like, oh, it's kind of fewer pages, but is it really? Hello friends, so it is April 17th and I am ever so pleased to share that I have completed my read of Fevered Star by Roanhorse, and I really enjoyed my time. I ended up giving this one 4 stars, but boy was I sucked in, intrigued, and I wanted to know what would happen next in this world. This sequel is definitely slower paced than Black Sun. It doesn't really have that countdown aspect anymore, but it just has like an ominous experience of what happens after some crazy magic reckoning occurs at the end of book 1. So we really just have an atmosphere of like foreboding, like things are just like stagnant after the craziness of our finale of book 1, and everyone is kind of facing the consequences. Our main characters, the city, the different clans. So this book is very focused on relationships with gods, understanding on what role that then plays in your clan or your personal beliefs, and also like what obligations you feel you have towards other people, towards yourself, towards your god. I would say book 1 is slightly more focused on Serapio, and then book 2 is slightly more focused on Narampa. I wish we got more of Shyla in this book, but I understand like the focus switching between the perspectives that are highly involved in the 2 clans that are kind of warring with each other, or they're just like essentially the polar opposites of each other. So while this was slower paced, I was definitely like still hooked the whole time. I wanted to know where these characters would end up, literally what would be resolved, what wouldn't be resolved, being that I know there's supposed to be a 3rd book. And I really enjoyed some of the character interactions we got in this. There are characters who had never met each other or barely interacted in book 1 that we get to see interacting together in book 2, so that was very fun for me. And I feel like this book just builds off of what we've learned in Black Sun so well. We get more background about some of the other clans, more understanding on the magic system and belief system, and just like a better understanding of some other politics that are going on within the world as well. Even like some characters that are briefly mentioned in book one, we actually see or learn more about in this one as well. So it's just a really great sequel. I really enjoy how it just kicks right off of where Black Sun ended, and I just want to continue to experience this world and find out what happens next. So overall, I had a really great time with my Black Sun reread and my favorite star arc experience. I think these are just really two compelling books that have a really intriguing world, cityscape, political tensions going on. I feel like if you enjoy interesting characters with some mysterious magic and some god lore going on, this might be the fantasy series for you. So intriguing, captivating. Like even with Fevered Star being paced slower, I was still like reading huge chunks of it at a time, not wanting to stop. Like even when I was reading it on my work breaks, I was like dreading when my break would be over because I just wanted to keep going in the book. I'm just so pleased with how this video turned out, with Black Sun reread being a 5-star, Fevered Star being a 4-star. Like I'm happy and this is good. But that'll about do it for this reading vlog. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me. In the comments, I would love to know if you have read Black Sun, or if you're interested in Black Sun, or if you are hyped for Fevered Star. I would love to know. But other than that, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I hope to see you here for the next one. Bye.